Hey guys, welcome to episode 1 of our Minecraft Survive to Thrive Let's Play series. This is a tutorial series walking you through in how to play Minecraft. This is episode 1, and we're going to start with how to get yourself started. Now, you'll probably just want to play single player just to kind of get yourself a hang of things, and we'll actually stay on single player this entire time. So what we're going to do here is you'll just click on single player, and then you'll come down to create new world. And you will find a place here to create a world name, which we'll just call this Earth Twisters Place. You do have a few rule options here. You can change the difficulty, which I'm going to go ahead and switch mine to hard, because there are a few game mechanics which I will explain in later episodes that require the difficulty to be on hard. I'm going to leave it on survival. I'm not going to turn cheats on. If I decide to add any data packs, I will, and I'll walk y'all through how to do that later on as well. But for now, we're going to click on More World Options. And I have a seed here, which is a number generated to tell the game what kind of world to generate. Most of the time, you don't have to start with this, but this is just a good beginner seed that I found online. Let's see if it copies. There we go. If y'all want to play along on this same seed, I will make sure this is in the description, and then y'all can join me there as well. I'm not going to turn any of this or mess with any of these other settings. I'm just going to click done, and we'll go ahead and create our new world. Alright guys, well, we have spawned into the world and everything's looking really great. We are in a village, which is super great for starting off because you can grab a lot of resources super simply. Now, a quick side note guys, I am playing on Java Edition, so there may be a few differences between this and if you're playing on, say, the Xbox or Bedrock Edition on the PC, as well as on the Nintendo Switch or the PlayStation. So if I talk about any controls, just know that I will be talking about Java Edition controls. So the first thing that we're going to want to do here is we're going to want to locate a bed, because that will make it so simple to get through our first night. So we're going to come in here, here's a bed, and we're going to steal it. You can do that simply by left clicking with the mouse, and you can hold it down until the bed is broken. Once the bed is broken, you can pick it up. So generally, the first kind of thing you want to do, especially if you spawn in a village, is explore the area around you and see what kind of materials you can get. So here's a chest. If you want to open the chest or the door like I just did, you'll want to right click with your mouse, and then you can see what kind of materials you can get. We have got a great start here with a couple of saddles and some iron and some gold here. Oak saplings are okay if you plan on going somewhere far away from trees, but I generally don't, and the apples will be a great early game food source. So we're going to go ahead and leave that there. You can grab them by left clicking and then dragging with your mouse. There's some pumpkins here which we might want to grab here in a little bit, but I don't imagine we're going to go too far from the village just to get things started and built up throughout here. We're going to explore this village for a little bit, gather as many resources as we can, and then we will get back together and I'll walk you through the next few things. Now guys, what I am doing right now, I did go all the way around the village into each of the buildings, and now I am just gathering up a few resources, starting with these hay bales, and then I'm going to describe a few things around here that you'll see which can be really helpful for now and also in the future. For example, here we have a composter, which can be used to either remove excess seeds that you may have or other things like that and turned into bone meal. It is also used to give villagers jobs. For example, this guy here is a farmer and he uses this as his job block. And farmers will, well, for one, you can trade with them by right-clicking on them. If you give them 20 wheat, this guy will give you an emerald, or 22 carrots, he'll also give you an emerald. Aside from being able to trade with farmers, they will also work here in the fields. You will also see iron golems around villages. They are more guardians of the village and will help fight against monsters when they spawn in the night to fight their villagers. Here we have a cleric, and his job block, as they call it, is a brewing stand, which you can also use to make your own potions. If you want to, you can right click on them as well and trade. Usually they will buy rotten flesh from you, which is something you can get from zombies. If you give them an emerald, they will give you some redstone dust, which we will cover in a later episode. In here we have a smithing table and a toolsmith. The toolsmith will help you get some early game tools if you are able to get your hands on some emeralds, and they can also be used to get some really great late game tools as well. The smithing table can be used to upgrade your gear, which is also something we are going to cover in a later episode. So in here we have a stonecutter and a mason. The masons will give you emeralds for clay balls, which you can get from rivers, and then you can also buy bricks off them, which you can then turn into brick blocks to help make pretty nice houses. I did not want to put the bed down. Now guys, if you didn't get the seed for this world, one thing that you're going to want to do is find the nearest tree and start punching it by left clicking. And once you left click the tree enough, it will break the block and then you will be able to have some wood. I do recommend taking down the entire tree, as it is very handy to have as much wood as you possibly can get in the very beginning. So once you have quote unquote chopped down the tree, you'll want to open your inventory by pressing E. Once you are in your inventory, grab your oak logs and drag them into the crafting grid here, and then you can get some oak planks. If you left click once, you will only get 4 oak planks, but you can left click again until all of your oak wood is used. Or if you want to craft all of your oak logs into oak planks, you can shift click, and that will take everything and craft all that you possibly can with that. From there, you'll want to grab your oak planks, put 4 of them in the crafting grid like so, and that will make you a crafting table. Once you have the crafting table, you want to place that down as quickly as you can and open it by right-clicking on it. Once you have right-clicked on it, you'll want to grab your oak planks, put one on top of the other, and you can place one block at a time by right-clicking in the spot. Then you'll want to grab your sticks by left-clicking them, and again, putting one on top of the other. And from there, you'll probably want to make an axe, as well as making a pickaxe. An axe is simply made by putting 2 sticks, one on top of the other, and then 3 oak planks right in the upper left corner here, and you'll get an axe there. If you want a pickaxe, you just put 3 oak planks across the top above the 2 sticks, and you'll get yourself a pickaxe. Now there is another option for crafting. You can click the book that is right next to the crafting grid, and that'll give you a list of a few things that you can craft. In the red are things that you cannot craft yet, but in the gray, outlined in gray, are things that you can craft because you have the correct resources in your inventory. So if you're looking for, say, to make a pickaxe, you can click on that. It will put everything from your inventory into your crafting grid that is necessary for building. Now that it is nighttime, what we're going to want to do is place down our bed by right-clicking on the ground with it, and then we will sleep. Now some other things that you can do to help survive the night, especially if you haven't found a village, is you'll want to run around, find the nearest sheep that you can, and kill it. And you can easily do that by using some of your wooden tools. Once you've killed it, you'll get some white wool. You'll need to find 2, maybe 1 or 2 other sheep to get the wool off of them, and then you can craft a bed. Once you've crafted the bed, then you can safely sleep through the night, like I just did using this bed. Anytime you break your bed, you lose your respawn point. Anytime you sleep in a bed, that will generate a new respawn point for you. Now, once you've created your tools, the first thing that you'll probably want to do is use them to gather a little bit more wood for yourself. And then also with your pickaxe, you'll want to go gather up some stone, because once you gather stone, you can start getting better tools. So here we have a pretty good place to start mining. We'll just jump down in here and start mining away. Now if you want to get stone tools, you're going to have to mine just the regular stone, which looks just like this. You do have other blocks around like andesite, which looks very, very similar to the stone, but just has a slightly different texture. You have granite, which is a browner color versus the solid gray of the stone. And then you also have diorite. All of these blocks spawn on the same level as stone, as well as gravel over here. Now, one resource that you'll want to get as soon as possible is coal. And you can start mining that as soon as you see these stone blocks speckled with black. And you'll be able to get coal out of this just pretty quickly, even using just a regular wooden pick. I do recommend mining as much coal as you possibly can right at the beginning, because right at the very beginning, coal is a commodity. It also gives you an occasional amount of experience, which is going to be used, again, we'll cover in a later episode. When you're mining your stone to upgrade your tools, I'd recommend mining as much as you feel like you can without getting too bored, or until your pickaxe breaks, whichever comes first. So I'm going to mine up quite a bit here, And I'll give you a really great number to shoot for here in just a moment. So once you've mined about 19 pieces of cobblestone from the stone, that will be enough to really get you started. You'll want to place down your crafting table. Once you've done that, you'll want to craft up a few more sticks. We'll say 12 should do you pretty good. You go ahead and place them there. You want to make a new axe. Get yourself a stone axe, which will be really helpful for getting more wood easily. Upgrade your pickaxe to stone as well. And then what you'll want to do is go ahead and make yourself a sword to help defend yourself, which is going to be one stick at the bottom, one, and then two pieces of cobblestone, one on top of the other above the sticks. Then you may want to make yourself a few more tools just to help with the later on aspects of survival, like a hoe, which is going to help you farm some things. So it's 2 sticks again, and then just 2 blocks in the left corner. And then finally, you may also want to make yourself a stone shovel, which is 2 sticks and a cobblestone. And then finally, you'll want to use your remainder cobblestone all the way around the center block just to make yourself a furnace, which will be helpful for smelting up some iron once we find that. If you look at the center of my screen on the bottom, you will see a hotbar with a bunch of different items across the bottom, which are items that I can easily use. And then above that, you'll see a greenish bar, which is your experience and how much more you need to get to the next level. And then above that, you'll see the hearts, which is the amount of health that you have. And above that, you'll see a bunch of chicken legs, I guess is what they are, that tell you how much hunger you have. Right now, my hunger is down to 3, which means that I'm getting pretty hungry. So what I'll want to do here, pop down my crafting table, grab my hay bale, pop that in there, and break it all apart for some wheat, and then make some bread with it, which I will show you how to use this book. You'll search what you need, bread. If you left click, it will put enough in for you to make 1 piece of bread, but if you shift left click, it will put in enough to make as much as you possibly can, up to using 3 full stacks. Alright, and I feel like that is enough bread to get us started. I don't need to make any more right off the bat. So I'm going to go ahead and eat some just to get my hunger bars all the way filled. And you can eat any sort of food by right-clicking when it is in your hand. So once you got yourself your first set of tools, the next thing that you'll want to do is find yourself a decent place to call home in Minecraft. And I'm going to spend a little bit of time looking around this area. I don't want to go too far from the village because having some villagers nearby is actually quite helpful. So we're going to spend a little bit of time looking around, see what we can locate as far as a good area for building, and then we'll walk you through building your first shelter in the night. Well guys, I think I found a pretty decent place to build. There is plenty of flat-ish area around and just mostly dirt that would be required to be moved for building anything that I need to within the area. And the village is just off in that area that way. So there's not going to be really too much trekking that needs to happen as far as trying to get to the village. Now, when you're trying to build your first base, you can go a couple of ways. You can either build up a short little square box using the oak planks that you have, oak planks, spruce planks, whatever kind of wood planks that you might have. Or you can do a simple little dirt shack by picking up some of the dirt around you and building up a shack around you. Or, as my personal favorite for surviving is digging into the mountain, your first little hovel. And that is exactly what we're going to do in this episode. We're going to dig just out a little bit here, just to get enough space for ourselves, some of our items, and maybe a chest or 2. Now, I like to generally make things about 3 blocks high because I don't like having my character hit his head on things, so, or feeling like I'm hitting my head on the ceiling. So we're going to mine out a little bit of this area, and I'll get back with y'all once I have finished this out. And guys, when you are building out your first little area, it is important to create light sources, otherwise monsters can spawn and attack you and maybe kill you. So one way you can do that is by popping a stick into your crafting grid with a piece of coal just above it, and that will give you 4 torches. And the more sticks and coal you use, the more torches you'll get. So go ahead and create a few of those, and we'll pop one on each side of our little hovel here. And here we are. We have got our first little house thing. I guess it's not quite a house until we have a door, but we got our first little house thing. It's about a 5 by 5 by 3. It should give me plenty of space to get started until we eventually decide to build our first actual house, which I'm thinking will probably be next episode, depending on the materials and resources we come across. Another really helpful tip for survival is when you are placing down your door, if you place it like so, that will be a closed door. Right now its state is closed, and then when you click on it, it opens the door even though it actually closes it for you. And that's helpful because zombies can actually break down doors when they are in a closed state, and they can't do anything to them when they are in an open state. So if this door is considered open right now, but it's still blocking your way, you or zombies or anything like that can't go through it, but it also can't be broken by zombies because they perceive it as an open door. One of the first things I like to do when I'm starting out is make a double chest, which will take 16 pieces of wood. And all you need to do is grab it, drag it around your inventory just like you did for the furnace, and then you will shift click the chest. It will give you 2 regular chests, but when you place them down right next to each other, they combine to make a double chest. And then you'll just stick every item in there that you don't feel that you'll need in the near future, just to keep safe from, if you die, these items will not despawn or disappear or get burned up because they weren't on you. And then I recommend that you keep your tools on you in an organized manner so you know roughly how easy it is to get to them and what spot that they're in, so when you push a key, you can easily get to it. For your hotbar, if you want to easily get to an item, you can either scroll with your mouse wheel, which can be a little bit more convenient, or you can push the number of the box that each item is in. So for example, the shovel, if I wanted to get to that, I would just push number 5, and that automatically brings out my shovel. Or number 9 for a piece of bread, it brings out my bread, and I can eat that. Well guys, that is going to be the end of today's episode in Survive to Thrive Minecraft. If you enjoyed watching or you found something helpful, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I am going to make sure and put more episodes out for this so that I can help you along your way to become a better Minecrafter. Alright guys, we'll see you in the next one.